Samsung Galaxy Note 8 3 months later experience. That video's coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to my Samsung Galaxy Note 8 3 months later experience video. Now I did a 1 month later, but I have a few more things to share here in this video. This is a kind of an update over using this phone for quite some time. So I do want to first begin by talking about a quick spec refresh with this phone. So the Note 8 is definitely going to feature yourself a 6.3 inch 2K panel. This is an OLED screen, and let me tell you, it's very pretty to look at. Now, it does have edge panel right there, as you can see along the borders. It does spill off the edges on the Note 8, and I know a lot of people do like this design. Some people think it looks like a brick, this phone, but hey, it's really up to you. 12 megapixel dual cameras on the rear. Both are optically stabilized, making this one of the best camera phones on the market. I don't think it's the absolute best on the market. I think that's the Pixel 2, but they're still fantastic cameras here, better than previous Samsung phones. Now, 6 gigabytes of RAM is on board here, whether you go with the Exynos model or the Snapdragon model, as I have here in the United States, and a 3300 milliamp hour battery with Android 7.1.1 Nougat. Still no Oreo update. Of course, I'm going to cover it when it comes. That's the key specifications. Let's get on to the hardware now. Okay, so for the rest of the video, I'm not going to be talking specifications that much. I'm just going to be sharing my experience, so a lot of this is going to be opinion and subjective. So taking a look at the hardware, you can see the Note 8 is definitely one of the best of 2017. It's going to be quite interesting to see what Samsung does this year with the Note 9 or whatever comes after this. But the hardware itself has been very enjoyable, and I'm going to tell you one thing that I've noticed about the Note 8. The Note 8 actually has held up pretty well to scratches and nicks and things like that, whereas my iPhone 8 Plus and my 10 definitely not as durable as this phone. Either it's not as durable or it's hiding it up, but this phone looks incredible for using it for 3 months, and I'm not really that light on my phones. I do use cases, but I use cases on my iPhone, and somehow they still get scratches on them. So durability on this thing is very, very strong. Of course, you still need a case with it, but I do like the durability overall. I have loved that flat camera design on the rear. I never like when a phone has humps on the camera, so I do really enjoy this over the 3 months. Yes, that fingerprint scanner to me hasn't really, having hands this size, it really doesn't get in the way too much of my use because I can reach that thing easily. However, this fingerprint right here is not the most accurate. Not only that it's up there, but for me, I just don't find it to be the fastest convenient location for speed. It's not so much where it's at for me, it's just it's not as fast as I would like it to be. So I would like Samsung to improve on their future hardware when it comes to the fingerprint scanner on the speed. Now, in terms of the front, I always thought it was a little bit sharp in the corners. I do wish for the next Note to be just slightly more curved, but I don't know if that's going to happen because that's what the S series, you could say, is for. But I do like the S8 and S8 Plus better when it comes to the top part. It's just more ergonomic in the hand than the Note 8. And the Note 8 has been a pretty tall phone as well. So sometimes it can feel too big, even for people with big hands. Sometimes this phone can be a little bit too big at times. But you know what you're getting into when you buy a Note 8. You're getting into the super large form factor. It covers my hand, and I got basketball sized hands. So this thing covers the whole thing. But on the whole, I'm not going to speak too much more about hardware. I really loved the hardware overall. The quality has held up very well over 3 months, and this is actually one of the most durable phones that I purchased in the entire year of 2017. So if you're looking to get one now at a discount, because these have come down in price, you are going to get an extremely durable smartphone here that should last years to come in terms of the hardware. So let's go ahead and talk about that display with the Note 8. Now, the Note 8 does give you the 2K panel. Like I said, I'm not going to talk too much specs here, but in my past 3 months using this, I really thought this was a fantastic panel. Now, it does have some, a little bit of flicker when you do look in certain camera lenses, so this might affect your eyes. I'm not sure how your eyes will react to this OLED panel. It does have some invisible flicker, but that shouldn't be a problem too much. Going into settings here, if we go into display settings, I've mentioned this in prior videos, I think like why a Samsung phone is better than an Apple phone or something like that. And you could see you could change your modes of the panel. So you can go to basic mode, AMOLED photo mode, cinema, and adaptive display. Now, some haters are going to be like, why would you ever use a basic mode on a Samsung? Some people just don't like oversaturated colors, but they do like the Note 8. So that's why Samsung includes that. Remember, this phone is for the mainstream consumer, everyone out there. So they're trying to appeal to everyone with this smartphone, and they've done that, I think, with the display modes here. Now, in addition to that, I've really loved the fact in the past 3 months I could change this to Full HD to 2K. Another thing some people will say, why would you ever put that Note 8 in Full HD? Come on, man, seriously? Well, some people want to save on battery life, and when you go to Full HD, you can eke yourself out probably another hour or 30 minutes of battery life with the Note 8. So, and really, a lot of phones at this size don't really need 2K, according to, the OnePlus, the Huawei Mate 10 Pro. They don't have 2K, but this one does. And that's what pushes it above the pack, if you ask me, when it comes to display. Now, one thing I do like about the display also is if you go into, like, say I'm in an app right here, right? I want to hit this dot right here. I can go ahead and hide the navigation bar. You can't do that on all smartphones like the Huawei series, for example. And I do like that because you get to really enjoy the full display here on the Note. And I think OnePlus does this. I'm not sure if the 5T does this. I actually have a 5T on the way, but I really do like that. Now, reading on this phone itself, let's just click an article here. Reading on this phone itself is quite fantastic. The text is very large, the text is very clear, and it's very bright. However, I think that an LCD panel might be sometimes better for reading because it's just like, it's not as like vibrant and stuff. It kind of can hurt your eyes, I think, after a while reading on an OLED screen. I think an OLED screen really shines when it comes to video watching and media. So any pictures, Instagramming, going and watching videos on the Nick Ackerman channel, for example, if you're going to YouTube and you're watching a Note 8 review, you can go ahead and see just a beautiful view. And also the 18:9 aspect ratio has been updated to stretch on the Note. So you can see right there, pretty cool stuff. But they had that pop-up view for a while anyway on the Note, so it was already ready to go for that. But you can just stretch it now automatically. YouTube has updated their app. Overall, though, the display is extremely bright as well. And I find it to be still the best display I've seen in quite a while on pretty much any smartphone. So 3 months later, I'm still loving the display. It's the display that I kind of, want to go back to every time I'm using a different phone. Okay, so let's talk about the software. Now, I have had quite a few updates for the Note 8 when it comes to security patches. However, we haven't had any major updates when it comes to the Android version. So we're not even on Oreo here. The Pixel series is. However, the Nougat to the Oreo is not a huge update. You're not going to see a lot of changes as you did with some prior Android versions. So these later Android versions are not as huge of an update in my opinion. Nougat was a very big update, and Oreo should be coming soon to the Note 8. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. But a lot of people like to argue, I think specifically Apple users, that Samsung phones lag, they lag. Well, I've had this phone for 3 months now, and there's no lag. I also have a Note 5, and I don't see any lag on that phone either, and I've had that phone for 2 years now. So, to say there's lag on a Samsung phone, I think some people are living back in 2013 when Samsung was, having some lag issues. But these days, it's a very refined experience and very fast. And you could see operates just like day one. So when people say there's lag, I don't really understand what they're talking about. Now, if you want to talk about lag, you can look at iOS 11 and all the bugs and lags and glitches that has had lately as well. Now, I'm not trying to argue Samsung's a faster phone. I still think iOS is a little bit smoother, a little bit buttery looking in comparison. However, in terms of lag, there is no lag, and software experience has been fantastic here for my Note 8. Now, I want to talk about a little bit more about this software. So what I really enjoyed about this software, specifically this one feature where I can go ahead and hold down this application, bring it into the pop-up view, and I can have some true multitasking here. So I can move my application around and I can do whatever I want. Also, you have the built-in, Android split view. So if we go to split view, you have this. But also Samsung gives you much more options than a lot of other, manufacturers when it comes to how many apps you can split screen. I mean, look at this. Do you really need more than that? Eventually, I think Samsung's going to have it to where you can split screen every single application you download. So multitasking I've really loved with this software. Speaking of multitasking, let's get into the S Pen. I don't want to talk too much about this. Have I used it? Yes, I've used it a ton. Specifically, the two features that I have used the most is Smart Select and Create Note. So when you're like in a text or something, or you want to share something, you just go ahead and take Smart Select and you could draw something, cut it out, and share it just like that. You can also go ahead and extract the text here. You can extract text from the picture or whatever, and it'll bring it down here in a little text field. So That is very smart feature there. And also I went ahead and I use the create note all the time. I always take notes on here. People say, that's not really necessary. When you have an S Pen and you actually use it, it does become necessary and you do enjoy it. And it really sets this phone apart. Now, I haven't used that feature that they touted a lot, live message, and I don't use screen write that much. Sometimes I do use the translate. Bixby, forget about it. I don't touch Bixby. I wish that button wasn't on the phone. Bixby, I don't really mess with at all. I know you can get some points and you can get some rewards for using Bixby, but I just don't find myself wanting to use Bixby when I have Google Assistant on here. Glance feature is okay. Have used that a couple times, but seriously, Smart Select and Create Note, if that's all I had, and you could put pens on other phones and just gave us those two features, I think most people would be happy. So yeah, software overall has been a win for the Note 8. And if you're picking it up and you're thinking like, if I pick up a used Note, is it going to be laggy? No, it's not. It's going to be a fast phone for quite some time. Now, another feature I really liked with this phone is the secure folder. Now, I'm not going to go into it because of course it's secure, but you can go ahead and save files that you don't want people to look at. You got business, financial things you want to put in there, or whatever you're doing in there, it's none of my business. But if you want to use the secure folder for whatever, nobody can get in but your iris or your fingerprint. So that's an awesome feature built only in to the Samsung phone. And speaking of that iris scanner, I really like it. It does work well for me. It doesn't work perfectly at nighttime. I do think Face ID can sometimes be better. However, iris scanning has been pretty fantastic. It's a little bit more accurate on here than the S8. So iris scanning, while it might be replaced in the future by a full face unlock on Samsung phones, they might include iris scanning, face unlock, and the whole bunch here going forward. Now, they do have facial recognition here, but I mean like a true sensor-based face unlock like you have on the Apple iPhone 10. That might come to the future, but yes, overall, that secure folder, iris scanning, and don't let me forget one of my favorite features on this phone in the past 3 months is Samsung Pay. Now, when I'm out with an iPhone, I cannot rely on an iPhone to get me to pay wherever I want. Now, when I'm out with a Samsung phone, I know I can basically pay almost anywhere I want with this phone if I leave my wallet at home. So Samsung Pay's MST technology is definitely overlooked by a lot of consumers, and I don't think it should be. And until another manufacturer can come out with a similar technology, Samsung is going to be the leader in this market right here. Okay, so let's talk my 3 months later experience with the battery life here for the Note 8. Now, the Note 8 has been pretty mixed for me when it comes to the way I use it. Now, I don't like to use these mid and max modes. I don't like how it slows down the smartphone. I like to run it on full blast when it comes to just the performance aspect pretty much all the time. And the battery life, when you're using it, for some weird reason, when you're at 100%, the Note 8 drops down to 90 like in no time. It's kind of weird because the iPhone will hold itself at 100% for quite some time, but the Note 8 likes to drop down to 90. And once it gets under 90, then it starts lasting a while. I don't know if you're having the similar experience as me, but that's what I've been having. Now, the iPhone, on the other hand, stays on 100, and once it passes under 100, then it starts falling off faster. So they're kind of opposite in that regard. The Note 8 has been able to get me through pretty much any day quite easily. However, I'm not finishing the day with 50, 60%. I'm usually finishing the day with 34, 26%. So it's getting a little close to dead every time the day ends. Now, on the whole though, I do like the fact that this fast charges, and I will take fast charging any day over a super long lasting battery life like the 8 Plus. So the 8 Plus is a great lasting battery life, but as much as I use my phone, I want to be charged up and ready to go, really quickly here. And I don't like that when I'm out of battery with the 8 Plus, I got to wait forever for it to charge. Now, some people will say, well, if you're using it all day, you can just charge it while you sleep. That is true. However, when you're a power user like myself, you do shoot through this battery life. And what I mean is you're watching YouTube videos, you're taking 4K videos, you're shooting videos. A lot of people say, well, the battery should last. No, when you're doing camera stuff, when you got this thing on full brightness, when you're downloading a bunch of apps, when you're testing games and stuff like that, you would chew through a battery. So the Note 8, while I don't think it's the best lasting all day, it's definitely not disappointing, and it definitely has some great fast charging capabilities. So if I had to give this a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 in my past 3 months, I'd give the Note 8 a solid 8 out of 10, but really the fast charging makes up for it big time. Okay, so how's the cameras been in my past 3 months? Now, I'm not gonna go and show samples in this video. If you wanna see samples, click up here or down below in the description area. I will have the camera comparison videos. I did a full all-day camera review with this thing, so I got plenty of camera content for you to check out. But on the whole, 12 megapixel dual cameras, dual OIS, these have been pretty fantastic cameras. Now, they're not gonna beat a point and shoot camera. I'm telling you right now, phones are still not replacing full-on cameras. So if you think you're gonna get a phone, even in 2018 here, it's still not replacing. It's simply the sensors are simply not as large as a DSLR or a point and shoot. But however, for a phone, if you're not zooming in too far, you will get some pretty fantastic photos. So close-up shots with the f1.7 apertures on these cameras are bright, clear, and really what phones do well is close-up shots, like macros, close-ups. They don't do really good zooming functionality. So for the mainstream consumer, Samsung likes to punch above in the contrast ratio, so Samsung photos will tend to look a little bit contrasty, especially when you're looking at it on the phone. Now, a Sony phone, you're talking an LG phone, you're talking an iPhone. These phones look closer to more natural photos. So Samsung's the best at making it look truer to life. So on the whole, video has also been pretty good. I don't like that it doesn't do 4K 60. I wish it would do that. I do like the feature Samsung includes here. You have all these modes, the auto mode, the pro mode, and I haven't used all of them, but I like to know that they're there when I do need them. So after 3 months using this, I don't think this is the phone I would want to take out for my main phone camera. Like if I was going out to shoot and I just wanted to bring one phone, I didn't want to bring an actual camera, the Note 8 sadly wouldn't be it. It would be the Pixel 2, but this would be my second in line to the Pixel 2 for the Android side. It would go like this. It would go Pixel 2, iPhone 10, and then the Note 8. So the Note 8 is still up there with the best on the market. Like I say, check out my camera reviews to see some of the samples and videos. Okay, so I want to talk about the storage here on the Note 8. Okay, so, you know, right now I do have something like 30 gigabytes available on the system. So 30.5 gigabytes available. This is after 3 months, and I don't feel it going down that much. Now, you might be saying 64 gigs for $900. Seriously, that's a little high for that. I could just get an 8 Plus or something with 256 gigs. Well, you do have expandable storage, and most of where your storage goes is videos and images. So I only have 8.4 gigs of apps installed, and I don't know where the other went, probably to the system and probably some to unnecessary data. I'll have to clean up that later. But 36 gigs only in 3 months out of 119. Now that is because I do use other cameras and stuff. You might be someone who does everything on your phone. And if you do everything on your phone, I would recommend a 256 gig card. But if you guys even get a 256 gig card and a Note 8, with the current prices right now, you're still gonna come in at less than a 256 gigabyte iPhone 8, 8 Plus, or even 10. So this thing right here is definitely okay on storage. It's not, you know, the most storage you could ever get in a phone, but it's well in the range of you probably won't need more storage. So in 3 months, obviously I don't need more storage, and I don't think I'll need more storage for the rest of this year until the next Note comes out. Okay, so let's discuss the topic of gaming really quickly. In 3 months, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't play games hardly ever, but I do have a couple installed because I do like to test them for my reviews. Now, I play games like this, casual games like Jetpack Joyride, as you must have seen in my prior videos. If you're not new here, if you're new here, you might not have known this. However, I have tested Need for Speed and some boxing games and stuff like that that do require some of the power of the Note 8. And I can say the Note 8 does a great job of keeping its heat temperature down when you are playing games. Also, I have actually found pretty much no lag. Now, I did have Need for Speed crash one time, so once in a while you might get a crash on this phone, but on the whole, what's really enjoyable about using the Note 8 is its screen for gaming. It's so colorful and it's super large. It feels like you're just in your own little gaming world here on this phone. So I do think this is a great recommendation on the Android side for gaming. I don't think this is the best phone in the world for gaming. It might be on the Android side, but I think iPhone still has more developers for their games. So if you're looking for the best gaming mobile, this might not be it. But if you're looking for the best gaming Android mobile, I think this might be it. So I'm gonna quickly brush over the call quality section of this video. This phone has been a mixed bag here for call quality. Now, in terms of the actual voice sound on the earpiece, fantastic. One of the best phones I have purchased. Signal strength, again, very fantastic. I got great signal no matter where I went. One really killer thing I did not like about the Note 8 was a speaker. It's just easy to cover when you're talking on speakerphone. Now, if you're laying in your bed or you even put it on, a desk and you put something in front of the speaker, you're going to cover this thing up quite easily. So this thing works better when you talk through the earpiece or when you do talk through a headset. And if you do that, which a lot of people probably will because it's more of a business class smartphone, it'll be fine. It'll be pretty fantastic. Signal strength is strong. So overall, I give it a 9 out of 10. I just have to drop 1 point because of the speaker. I hope the next Note gives us stereo speakers. And in my 3 months, that's the only thing I thought about when using this phone. Okay, so it's been, almost 4 months. This is the 3rd month the Note 8's been on the market here. Let's take a look at where the prices are. So we're on Swappa where people are selling these things, secondhand or maybe slightly used, a week old or whatever, $615. Now that is a major decrease from the original launch point of this phone. You're looking at about a $300 decrease from the $900, almost $1,000 when you first bought this phone. Granted, you did get the Gear camera, you did get the wireless charger bundles, which could be about $200-300 in bundles. So, you don't get that, but you will get the phone for much less. Now on Amazon, you even have over $100 decrease in the price. Here's a Note 8 for $794. Now, don't get me wrong, these are still flagship level prices, but you're paying here for a flagship level device and one of the best ever created. So I'm gonna wrap this up here. After 3 months, the Note 8, what is my conclusion? This is still the phone that my SIM card is in the majority of the time, and for good reasons. It's an all-around package and it remains that way. It's really exciting. This phone really excites me because I want to see what Samsung does next, because when you have a phone that's really this well packed, it just makes you excited for the next iteration, the next Note that's coming down the pipeline. So, do I still recommend it after 3 months? Absolutely. I think it should be in your top 2 or 3 deciding phones if you're looking for one of the best smartphones you can buy. Anyway, that's it. My 3 months later. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up for me. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more. I do have the OnePlus 5T coming to the channel. We will pit it against the Note 8. I'll catch you all on the next one. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well and peace.